combination of field goal percentage defense with the shot blocking ability. Those two make this a daunting, scary team to have to go against on the offensive end.
Two teams with national championship pedigree. UCLA from 1978 and South Carolina 2 times. And the heavy favorites to win a third this year.
What you'll see out of UCLA is a soft cover. They'll be underneath. They'll try to make sure they contest, force South Carolina to the perimeter, and you have to rebound with the Gamecocks. This is a really good rebounding team.
Today's starting lineups are brought to you by Capital One. Kiki Rice, one of the top freshmen in the country, playing in her biggest game to date here today. And the size is such a huge deal for South Carolina, both in the lineup and off their bench. Led by this woman right here, Aaliyah Boston, the face-up and the finish.
I mean, right away, I'm just telling you, got to close the cushion on her when she catches it in the short corner. That is one of the spots away from the floor where she is, or away from the rim where she is most dangerous.
Zaya Cook is their leading scorer at one of the guard spots, and an offensive foul called on UCLA. And there's head coach Corey Close now in her 12th season. They were in the Elite 8 in 2018. Trying to get back there once again. She's talked a lot about the Bruins' poise and their balance. They will have to rely on both here pretty much in South Carolina's backyard, just down the road a ways from Columbia.
There's a tiny bit of UCLA blue sprinkled in. I think UCLA will see them get 2 feet in the paint and look to not over-penetrate, but to pull up and hit a mid-range jump shot.
Dawn Staley, 15th season now at South Carolina. Earlier this week, named the Basketball Writers Association National Coach of the Year, so that's her 4th such honor. And few, if any, in the women's game have the resume. An All-American as a player, Olympic gold medal as a player. They had 15 blocks against UCLA the first time they played. You talk about style, Debbie. Both these coaches referred to their games against Stanford in terms of their preparation for one another today.
Red to yellow,
yep.
You know, like she's not quite a green, meaning has the freedom to shoot whenever she wants. She does take good decisions with the ball, though.
Force another turnover. Cook with the push all the way, and that's the second foul on Beswar. And a quick substitution for the Bruins.
Well, I think it's important for Corey Close in this game, now that Beswar has 2, is managing the tempo and getting her bench some early minutes against South Carolina.
Freshman London Jones has also checked in. Just like this South Carolina senior class was the #1 class when they arrived 4 years ago.
Look at Sontag all the way to the rim. You got to finish that.
Couldn't convert it. Beal weaving her way into the lane, goes to the left side with the right hand. Another possession. Cook will pull up. Tip back out by Boston.
Well, that's Cook's game right there. Mid-range pull-up between the elbows. If she can get to the nail, that's a great spot for her to take jump shots.
Boston wanted a touch, and she's got one. Drag that pivot foot, got away with a walk, but hits the bucket.
Yeah, Corey Close is really upset about that one because she did drag her pivot foot.
One of the things about this South Carolina defense, Debbie, not just the shot blockers, but they are long on the perimeter, too, with Saxton guarding Charisma, and Osborne hits it. Sierra Fletcher, the transfer from Georgia Tech, who's been the starter at the point all year. Mid-range, Boston, another offensive rebound, and Beal with the stick back.
They would like to score quickly if they could before South Carolina gets organized. Just like that, Conti looked much more confident.
Wide open look.
I mean, there's not even anybody outside the lane when she catches it.
Johnson. Not her strength, but another offensive rebound. Beal is practically matching UCLA all by herself on the glass.
South Carolina did go 1 for 14 the first time these two teams met outside the three-point line. They're just going to keep firing away, and they're really not close.
part of their MO is to rebound misses. They rebound almost 50% of the shots they miss and get a second chance.
It's definitely a ridiculous number.
Hall. Hawkins, and a foul on Boston.
So that's a very well-designed play by Corey Close. So you're going clear out, ISO, one-on-one.
Out of Camarillo, California. Kiki was telling us she's rooming with Jaquez, and at the hotel watching the men's game, hotel security came up because they had a noise complaint from their neighbors. They fell to Gonzaga.
UCLA mixing up their D, back to the man-to-man.
Cook looking to beat a buzzer. Oh, did she keep that dribble alive? Good defense by Osborne. And they don't get a shot up.
When you got a shot blocker behind you as a perimeter defender, you can take a few risks. You can get up the line a little bit. You can get really aggressive in closing down that space and put great ball pressure on, like we're seeing right here.
Yeah. Cameron Brown. Back to Rice. Driving on Cook.
I like the no call, just a little contact.
South Carolina's 2 for 21 from three-point range against the Bruins. Look at them, sag, sag, sag.
Yep. I use my tape measure usually to measure how far people hit threes outside the three-point line. I might need to see how far away a defender is from a South Carolina shooter.
Yeah. Raven Johnson. A lot of traffic inside and a 3-second, travel.
We want the defensive 3-second rule. That means you can't be, you can't play and sit on people's lap. We're taking away the skill set of our game and some of our great post play by making them play in a crowd all the time. I want to see freedom of movement. I don't want to see people sitting on a post player's legs.
Yeah. We all want you to move on from complaining about losing the 1-on-1 5 years ago.
I'm not.
So you need a new rallying cry. So it's the defensive 3 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not done complaining about that.
Again, making South Carolina take the outside shots. And here come Bruins. Rice, tough shot. Got to capitalize on those opportunities. Or Raven Johnson will do that to you. Carves up the lead. If nothing else, the Bruins have done a good job of keeping the crowd quiet so far in Greenville. Osborne. Boston will stay in. Cardoso will join her. I mean, Leah Boston she's a 3-time first-team All-America. I think there's only 9 of those. She was an All-American as a freshman, too. There are only 5 players that have been AP All-Americans all 4 years of their career. Beal knocks it down. Also a member of that senior class that has won 94% of their games together the last 4 years, including 1 national championship. They're working on a second. ESPN Analytics says it is them against the field. About a 50-50 proposition as to who's going to win the title. That's an offensive foul called on South Carolina. 3-pointer, no. What a box out for Boston. Low man wins on that one.
I like that Corey Close put Bess Warren back in the game, too, against this size. And she does have 2. Let's see if South Carolina will attack her. But she's such an incredible part of what they do offensively in their space with a big lineup for South Carolina.
Another second chance coming for the Gamecocks.
You have position, and then they use their length over the top.
It's her 7th offensive rebound of this first half.
Beal should be feeling confident. She's shooting 50% from the floor right now.
Osborne. Chance for UCLA to beat the defense up the floor. Rice missed it. The tip no good and a foul. So how about this, Debbie? At Los Angeles, UCLA gets the #1 recruit in this year's class. USC gets #1 next year.
Congrats to Lindsey Gottlieb, who's shaking it up.
as they both get set to leave to go to the Big Ten. The national championship Sunday afternoon, April 2nd on ABC.
The one thing that Kiki Rice and Charisma Osborne told us yesterday in our meeting was that they weren't going to be intimidated by the crowd for sure, since they've already played this team in Columbia, and they knew it would be a full house of Gamecock fans, and it is.
Cook, and in and down. Senior from Toledo, Ohio, making her 134th start. Cook, Beal, and Boston together for over 130 games. Rice. Cook the lob, taken away by the Bruins. And here's Jones leaking out the other way. Cook races on, and Cardoso is back to swat it.
What a play. Wow.
Fletcher. And a foul on the floor on UCLA.
This is all of 6-7 with some closing speed on Jones off the glass. The guards sometimes will switch to steal. There's a difference.
Garrett Fletcher lobs it inside. Count it. And one opportunity for Cardoso. The transfer from Syracuse. Misses on the free throw. She was the SEC's 6th Woman of the Year this season. Rice will back it out. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the first half. Beth Swart, baseline, blocked by Boston.
Oh no, and a third foul on Beth Swart. Tries to get to the other side of the rim, but it's a great block by Boston. You got to go rim body ball in that situation there so you can protect the ball. Sagging man to man.
Reveal. Boy, she's having herself a terrific first half. 9.6 rebounds for Beal, who was scoreless in the first meeting against UCLA. Another deflection and another turnover. When you talk about how well they played together, it's so evident on the defensive end, working as one collective. Tijami here trying to work out of the double.
That's the second turn.
Osborne, just 1 for 3 in the first half. There have not been many opportunities for Charisma. Iwala muscles it up and in.
That's a good execution there. They go through the door screens. Jaquez comes around. That screen has nothing. And Iwala inside.
Shot clock's off. Beal.
Oh, that time she had a hand in her face with a late clock. Surprised she didn't drive it.
And on the defensive end for the Gamecocks, my goodness, an 8-point first quarter for the Bruins, a 7-point second quarter for the Bruins. Just relentless on the defensive end.
Again, it's a soft cover. Nothing will adjust with personnel. Zia Cook trying to throw over the top. She loves that right hand.
Blocked. John Jock, who starts the second half for Emily Bessoir, who's got 3 fouls. Just 6 baskets for the Bruins in the first 20 minutes.
And a post-up action by Charisma Osborne. Ooh, they're going to call jump ball.
They have to set new screens for South Carolina. They're getting in between them. She said we need more reversals and creating lanes to drive and attack.
There's a create a lane drive and attack. Had a 36-point game in the second round to win over Oklahoma. And a foul will get Aaliyah Boston to the free throw line. 75% free throw shooter Aaliyah Boston. averaging a double-double, 14 points and 12 rebounds per game.
Well, she has accomplished a lot.
Conti's pass goes awry.
Conti, a 4-year starting point guard at Wake Forest, knows to make a better entry than that. One dribble and a bounce. Sontag had position, and while the post players get position, it's so hard to get it against South Carolina because it's a foot fight on the inside.
Fletcher looking for some help. Here's Boston using the Saxton screen. Women's tournament will continue with the Sweet 16, 4 o'clock Eastern on ABC, and then following that tonight on ESPN2. As we fill out the Elite Eight.
Cook through the door screens, weak side board, Beal! Yet they have length to tap it back. You gotta really put a body into them.
Foul gonna be called on Aaliyah Boston. Bruins arrive here in Greenville. They are the youngest team in the field and playing essentially a road game today. Pulled away a little bit here in the third.
I think South Carolina, they led the nation in attendance 10 years?
Yeah. Did it again this year.
Yeah, I mean, Dawn Staley, when I say the product is a narrative, she really put a product on the floor, and the South Carolina administration was ready to support it when she started winning. Because I remember Dawn's first couple of years when there was no line at the restroom, one concession stand was open, there's no traffic in the parking lot, there certainly wasn't anybody tailgating, and you know they tailgate in South Carolina.
They bring it.
I think it stems from discipline, right? Dawn,
that's what she said, yeah.
She expects and has earned the right to demand because she's proven over and over what it looks like, right?
And the players may fight it initially, but talking to the older players here at South Carolina, they've come to appreciate it, and obviously it's paying huge dividends.
And that's the definition of culture, but that's the definition of it right there.
Jaquez into the paint, short. Ricochets out to Jones.
See, Cameron Brown's not a shooter from out there.
It also comes back to the players that you're recruiting.
You gotta accept your role, and if you don't like your role, work harder to change your role. Don't complain. Work harder. Add to your skill set. Get in the gym. Spend time working on your shot. Get in better shape. There's always something a player can do to get better.
Fletcher, and one.
A great ball movement and a great acceleration.
Well, you talk about some big shoes to fill. Not only are you coming to play for one of the great point guards of all time, but you're replacing Destiny Henderson, who was such a stud for them last year en route to the national championship. Their lone starter lost from a year ago. Fletcher commits the foul on Osborne.
Hey, Jeff Walls and Louisville, they have been to 4 different Final Fours and 2 title games. And the 4 different Final Fours they've been to have been with 4 different groups of athletes.
Yep.
Meaning, it's not like back-to-back, or there's been a span of at least 4 years between each of those Final Fours. It's pretty remarkable if you think about it. So you know they've been in that situation. I think the Elite Eight game has an awful lot of pressure on it.
Boston scores. Yeah, they pulled off one of the big upsets, of course, when they beat Baylor with Brittany Griner a few years back. Can they pull off the same thing with Caitlin Clark?
One of the greatest upsets in the history of the tournament.
Yeah. Now South Carolina's got it going on the offensive end.
Beal thought about it, but that might be a little too far out of her range.
Trying to lob into Cardozo, and the catch over the defender.
Oh, I mean, you can't do anything.
On the run, Conti missed the layup. Well, you know when you face South Carolina, you're going to have to deal with Size, UCLA coach Corey Close, who's big into the analytics. What did she tell us? She looked it up. It's only about 5% of all teams in D1 that play with a double post or play with the kind of size that South Carolina is capable of.
LSU now, I mean, they're on the other side of the bracket from South Carolina, but Kim Mulkey has Angel Reese and LaDeja Williams, who played fantastic yesterday.
So Cardoso to the line. She had a terrific game in the regular season against UCLA. She's doing it again today with her and with Boston. They're scoring 44 points a night in the paint. Bessoir got it for three. Aaliyah Boston certainly has put her class in the conversation if they can lock down another ring in Dallas. The likes of Shamiqua Holsclaw win a third national championship. They'd be the fifth program to do that. They'd be the fourth program to try and go back-to-back to win titles.
How about that move?
Bruins are playing close to even with Carolina here in the third. They trailed by 10 at the break. Cardoso again, position, I mean, too low.
It's a challenge. It is a big-time challenge. You've got to be able to make baskets on this end of the floor. You can't have very many empty trips.
Aaliyah Boston, 11 rebounds. She's one bucket away from another double-double. And Dawn Staley saw it and wisely alerted the official, I believe, or did Dawn call a timeout?
I think she called a timeout because there was an injured player down there. Well, that's a good sign right there because she did have the ACL tear last year.
1:22 to go here in the quarter. Johnson now in at the point.
What you gotta do, make her catch it off the lane, Beth.
Hall with a nice fade.
And that's a great skip over the top by Cardoso.
Osborne blocked by Boston.
That's that over-penetration that we were talking about. But it's a great funnel by the D right into the shot blocker.
Top shot blocking team in the country, over 310 now on the season. They block about 20% of opponents' two-point shots, including that last one right there. Another lob over the top. Cardoso got it. 6-0 run, and the size making a difference here. Gamecocks up 20. Doesn't beat the buzzer, and they're on their feet in Greenville in appreciation of Carolina and a 20-point lead. 10 minutes away from a date with Maryland in the Elite Eight. Terps were a winner earlier over Notre Dame. Big second half from Giant Sellers and Diamond Miller for the Terps.
Bessoir with two really good looks.
Bruins able to take it away. Osborne leaves it off for Hawkes, blocked by Cardoso.
Look at Osborne hustling. Still fighting. I think Osborne looks a little bit fatigued too. She's played so hard here in the second half for UCLA.
Foul off the ball. And she will come out for a breather.
Yeah, she needs a break. Not for long, though.
A meteor 6'4" to go along with 6'5" and 6'7".
Yeah, it's been a dominant defensive effort. The combination of field goal percentage D with their shot blocking ability allows them to have some decisions about how they want to guard, what kind of ball pressure they want to play with. This is not a trapping South Carolina defense. And they have multiple shot blockers.
It's a pair there. Claims she is just a post player at heart.
Which got a great chuckle out of all of us. But Dawn claims she used to back down defenders. Yes. And I said, so it was the Staley before it was the Barkley? Because Charles Barkley is what you call it now. You Barkley down, back it down, back it down, back it down. We're going to start calling it the Staley.
Yes. Well, one of her idols was good at that. You know, Dawn Staley and I are a lot alike. You don't get to say that very often. But we both loved Mo Cheeks growing up, Debbie. Kids, Google Mo Cheeks, a great point guard for Dr. J in Philly.
Did you wear a rubber band?
Who used to do that?
You wear a rubber band on your wrist like Mo Cheeks?
Did not. Baylor, and the very first time, the Texas Longhorns. That's a walk. Here's your unbeaten. Of course, UConn did it 6 times in their 11 national championships. Their only loss in the finals was last year to South Carolina. Gino was 11-0 before that. What do you think coming up? Ohio State, UConn, and then Virginia Tech, Tennessee tonight.
Well, I'm excited about watching Ohio State and UConn as Bree Hall sticks another.
She's got 10.
I'm telling you, I like her. Woo, she's going to be something next year.
So the senior class,
because she's the one senior that doesn't get as much time.
She's the 5th. The push. The freshman started out 4 years ago with Aaliyah Boston getting a triple-double at home. And they closed out their home campaigns at Colonial Life. I believe it was Olivia Thompson who made the last basket in that building in the second round for that collective. Final 3 minutes. Amir nails it. Well, the UCLA Bruins are going to bow out with a 27-win season as they make a substitution here to get Bryn Maskowicz in. And here comes Olivia Thompson.
They'll run something for her to get a triple.
Chloe Kitts on the floor at the hands of the overall #1 seed in the tournament. Osborne, the senior from Moreno Valley, California, closing out her year.
Well, what a brilliant career Chris Osborne has had for UCLA and Corey Close.
Thompson. Osborne leaks the other way. Cooper giving chase and a foul. And Charisma went down hard. Angel?
Well, we'd be remiss not to mention that it is Women's History Month, and we have some women that are creating their own history here in Greenville. All 8 teams here in this region are female head coaches.
Billy Moore, who passed away during the season at UCLA and engineered their 1978 national championship. And so many of the women coaching today and coaching this weekend owe such a debt to those that have come before. Billy, of course, amongst other things, was a great mentor to Pat Summitt.
Yes, and a 76 Olympic coach and a really great competitive golfer who loved that sport.
They were a winner earlier today over Notre Dame. Cooper, 3. Final minute of this one. If you're going to knock out the defending champs, you're going to have to figure out a way to work against what might be the best defense. And you're going to have to figure out what to do with all that size. Jones hits the mid-range.
Maryland's going to have to be able to make shots, take care of the ball. You got to be able to defend them one-on-one on the block. You got to be able to rebound. You can't let them have offensive rebounds. And you have to move the ball on the offensive end.
Not a complicated formula,
not complicated,
but it is difficult to pull off.
Well, you just got to handle hard better. You're right, complicated.
South Carolina fans anxious to get on their feet.
Well, I think they want to run something for Olivia Thompson here. Just to give her another chance at three.
Watkins off the bounce. That won't go. Brown has it. And the South Carolina Gamecocks are moving on to the Elite Eight. 59-43 over UCLA. South Carolina still unbeaten. Still in the hunt for a back-to-back national championship.